incredible people, David, Mandy, and Cassandra. Each of these folks has entered the looking glass in a different way for a different reason and has fought their way through to become royalty. I think you're really going to enjoy hearing their stories. And with that, it is my absolute honor to introduce you all to my friend and partner in projects and brother in my extended ALS family, Dave. Dave, I'll leave it to you.
Thanks, sis. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Next slide, please. And next slide again. I think I'm wearing the same shirt, by the way. Wow. Who am I? Obviously, I have ALS, but underneath my ALS, I have a family, a loving wife. I'm the father of two kids, now 14 and 11. I live in a suburb of New York City, so still got to get into the city pretty often for more than just my clinic visits at Columbia. I've traveled extensively through work and in my personal life. 20 countries and 4 continents, most of the US states. Favorite place ever is Florence, Italy. Right mix of culture and food, which are probably the two things I look for the most. And the picture of me here is in the Olympic Stadium at Athens, which I put myself in first place. We love theater in our house. We're huge theater fans. You'll see I took my young daughter to Oklahoma when all her friends were going to see Frozen. Favorite performance ever was when we saw Hamilton with the original cast. That was epic. And I don't know I'll ever get to experience anything like that again. During the pandemic, I started barbecuing. I bought a pellet smoker and cooked everything from brisket to ribs. And favorite though are these plate-sized dino ribs that shrink in the cooker and turn into delicious beef lollipops. And then music is always big in our lives too. Love alternative and classic rock. Loved Springsteen on Broadway. Seeing The Boss in that intimate venue was life-altering. Next slide, please. So me in one word was ambitious. And you'll kind of see this a little as I talk about my trajectory. So, graduated undergrad in 2001 on the finance track. Went to work on Wall Street at JP Morgan as an investment banker, working on mega mergers, capital raises, and all sorts of interesting things, but it was high pressure and long hours. I did somehow get married in 2007 amidst all that, and also completed my MBA at Columbia. But when my kids came in 2010 and 2012, life started to evolve, and I felt like I needed to do something a little different. So I moved into more strategy and product roles and ended up leading one of JP Morgan's oldest commercial products with people around the world. And I actually rang the bell on the New York Stock Exchange in 2015, as you see below. Again, and for anyone working on Wall Street, that's kind of a bucket list kind of thing. And life was good. As I got into my 40s, I moved again into technology and finance and ended up developing new capabilities at JP Morgan and then Wells Fargo on how to prioritize billions of dollars in strategic projects they undertake. I moved to Wells Fargo in 2020, and then I was promoted to a senior leadership role in 2022, and everything was going great until 2023, and ALS hit me at the age of 44. Next slide. So, how has ALS impacted my life? Obviously devastating, but I mean, at any age, ALS is bad. At 44, with where I was in my career, where my family was, and sort of their growth, very, very rough. I am an average progressor. Last year at the NEALS conference, I was walking and talking normally, and now I'm not. My whole family's in therapy, but they are resilient. You'll see them below, with their End ALS shirts. They're rising to the occasion and taking on more and more resilient than I ever could have imagined. We are adapting every day, every step. At work, I'm still working at Wells Fargo with the help of accommodations. I'm no longer doing the same work, but I'm doing really interesting other work. And the team has been super supportive. Below, they surprised me one day on a call, all wearing support Dave ALS t-shirts, and you could see my surprise in the middle there. And at the end of the day, I'm mourning my career that I worked so hard to build. But I'm grateful that with technology and support from my employer and a little bit of adaptation from my part, I'm still in the game, baby. So next slide. So here's how I found my purpose in advocacy. I mean, like every ALS patient, after diagnosis, you're asked, wait a minute, this disease has been around forever. Why is there still no way to meaningfully slow, stop, or reverse it? And then over the last year, the Relivrio trial, the Adore trial, putting oral Daveron in question, it really sort of exacerbates this question. So, given my background, I've been trying to look at this in advocacy through that business lens. I took the time to learn. I participated in Curly and the Patient Fellows Program over to PAX, and I try to apply my business skill set to advocate for a more efficient, integrated ALS landscape. So, what does that mean? Off to the right and looking ahead into year 2 of advocacy, I'm leveraging my product and business management skills and investment optimization and efficiency skills to do work aligned to certain problem statements. This includes better understanding ALS through co-chairing the AMP-ALS Natural History workstream. This is the work I'm doing around digital health technology with everything else, ALS, NIH, and FDA. For ALS Awareness Month, I raised $75,000 for CRISPR research, which I believe high risk reward projects tend to be underfunded. And I also working to connect the dots among the nonprofits, joining the Cure Collective, and also working to make introductions. Next slide. So, very dangerously, I was asked, what is my vision and hope for the ALS landscape? And based on what I've previously said, I have some recommendations for different participants in the landscape. Again, only my opinion, but from where I sit, I would love to see research managed as a diversified portfolio, more transparency into who is focused where and who is funding to, so that way we can optimize efforts and work better together and share, even if you have to qualify unpublished insights. Try to limit wasteful redundancy beyond what's necessary to confirm, findings. In philanthropy, I would love to see us specialize, consolidate, and integrate these organizations. Patients today don't know where to go for what, and it's hard. That we can develop shared capabilities. Imagine if there was a national loan closet system where you could we ship around things to where they're needed, like Amazon. I can order things from anywhere on Amazon, but if my local ALS organization doesn't have a certain piece of equipment, what do I do? Uniform research grant applications. Why does researchers have to fill in lots of different grant applications when prospective college students fill in one application and it gets considered in multiple spots? In the industry, looking at sporadic ALS as a cohort doesn't seem to be working. We need to double down on therapies aligned to subtypes. We also need to, and this goes for research too, moderate enthusiasm and put disclaimers on press releases and in webinars, hyping up trial or research results. This creates false hope and misplaced advocacy. And government, again, can continue evolving to have speed, flexibility, and of course, working synergistically across these fields. And my message for other patients in the advocacy community would be, we need to use our voice to partner within the ALS landscape constructively rather than critically. Back off the push to prioritize research spend on giving expensive, unproven drugs to current patients at the expense of breakthroughs for future patients. We have to stop the cycle. So, anyway, in wrapping, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and it is my pleasure to pass the mic over to Mandy.